session, but not everyone can make it. We are very pleased to launch this third year's competitions, and today is information sessions. This is also our first time doing this, so we just go and adjust as we moving along. Last year, students are subject to have this information session so that they get to know more about the competitions before they get to the kickoff event. So our agenda today is to give a brief intro on people who in the rooms and also participating online, an overview of competitions. I have students who participated in the past that willing to share the experience, so other students can know what it's like to go through the competition and what to do in order to do well in the competitions. Then at the end, we open the floor for questions and get some advices from the judges who participate in the competitions. Okay. So let's do a round of brief introductions. My name is Professor Bui. I am an associate professor here at the Rochester Institute of Technology. I teach MIS classes. Business analytics is one of them. Let's see, been here for 8 years, and this is the third time we organize these competitions. So that's a brief overview. Maybe we go around and introduce some other people in the rooms. So let me move the camera and then. So maybe start on the left. Let's see. There you go. Ali.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ali Silva. I'm an assistant professor here at RIT. I'm also in the MIS department. I teach business analytics courses. This is my second year here at RIT. And also, this is my second year experience with the competition. So I'm very glad to be here.
Yes. Thank you, Ali. Just to briefly mention that Ali and a lot of professors here are part of the panel of the judge for the first round. So it's useful for everyone to get to know and know the face of the judges in here. Okay. So next.
Hi everyone, I'm Jin Tang. I'm also an assistant professor at RIT in MIS Marketing and Analytics department, and I'm teaching business analytics courses. And this is my third year experience of BA competition.
Thank you, Jin. Then. Kais.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kais Opahoy. I'm an assistant professor of marketing here at the college, and I teach courses related to analytics in marketing. And it's also my second year as a judge. So best of luck. I look forward to it.
Mohammed.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mohammed Keskin. I am an associate professor. I'm in the Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management. I do have lots of interest in business analytics, hospitality analytics. So I will be trying to learn from everybody in this group. That's why I'm involved.
How many years at RIT?
10 years.
Pretty good. I'm Professor Victor Parati. This is year 25 for me at RIT. There are many people who have been here longer, but not in the room today. This will be my third business analytics competition. I teach at the undergraduate level with our MIS program and at the graduate level in our business analytics program. I'm very much looking forward to working with you.
So as you can see briefly in here, the judge is we try to make a collection of people who has experience with business analytics and in different areas too, not just MIS, but also hospitality and also in marketing. So that way, we hope to help students to have a more diverse experience with the competitions. Maybe let's go and introduce some other students who in the rooms. You want to briefly introduce yourself?
Sure. I was part of the name is Edis, and I'll take the part of this.
Nice. And what is your major?
Business.
Nice. Very good. Welcome. I have Rafi.
Yes. Get out of the Zoom. Hi everyone. My name is Rafi Karim. I'm a fifth year biomedical engineering major, so I guess pretty much out of the zone here. But I was interested in the business analytics competition. And I didn't realize that Dr. Bui was organizing the soccer together. So yeah, I was just came here to learn about how the competition goes, and then if I would have the opportunity or kind of like the skill set to participate or not.
Great. That is a great reason to be here. So, and that is exactly what this information session is about. So I'm gonna let other people online to introduce themselves a little bit. So we know that we have a lot of different background here. I don't know, I'm not calling on your name. If you can briefly introduce yourself to other people. And that's also helpful to students to make note of the other students because at some point you're going to have to organize your teams. So knowing other students' background and their interest could be helpful in that regard. Okay. So first in my screen here is Purna Chander. Ready?
Hey. Hi everyone. So I'm Purna Chandar. You can call me Chandar. So I am a first year master student in software engineering. So I come from a data science background. So I have been working in the industry to provide data science solutions to domains like manufacturing, retail, CPG, and banking prior to coming here. So I joined RIT to understand how do you scale and maintain these solutions. So as a part of my job, I used to generally interact with clients and the consulting group. So I do understand a little bit of business analytics. I just wanted to test my skills and collaborate with people so that I don't lose touch with my most passionate field. So that's the reason I wanted to be in the competition. That's why I'm here.
Nice. Just to clarify, Chandler, are you in one of the master program here at IIT?
Yes, in software engineering.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Next, I have Juying Jin. I think Juying is one of the students who participated in the past. So you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, here. Hello, I'm Rin Jin. Yeah, I participated in the business analytics competition in 2021. Yeah, it was the first competition. And I can tell you it's a very good experience, and everyone in my team have learned a lot, and it's still benefits me in the later internships and the interviews. So yeah, that's basically my introduction. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. That's a very nice setup for our later conversation about what kind of benefits and experience student can gain. Next, I have Luka Perovic.
Hello, my name is Luka Perovic and I'm fourth year international business students at RIT Croatia, and I was interested to learn a little bit more about this competition, so here I am.
Good, thank you, welcome. Next, Ellie Fieldman. So Ellie is a fourth year finance student, never completed in competition like this, so I'm looking forward to the experience. Very good. So look like we have a lot of diverse experience this year compared to the previous one. Next, I have Antonia.
Hi, everyone. So I'm a freshman and I'm studying international business at RIT Croatia.
Great, welcome. Jeff Albee.
Hey everyone, I'm Jeff. I'm a third year MIS major and I just switched in this past fall and I really wanted to get some more experience in the field. I haven't really done any tangible project like this. So this is how I kind of want to get started in the field like that.
Okay, great. You come into the right place. Gabi Karanikos.
Hi everybody, I'm a fourth year MIS major. And I wanted to come and do this competition to get some hands-on real world experience and also to apply some of the things that I've learned in my co-ops with this competition.
Excellent. Welcome. Vanessa is driving, so we go to Celine.
Hi everyone, I'm a finance major, freshman. I'm in the Dubai campus. And I'm just here to learn more about the competition.
Excellent, welcome. Josh Supal. Josh Supal, third year finance students in IIT, I assume. And he's interested in business analytics. Great, welcome. And then last but not least, Padip Kumar. Graduate student, master in computer science. All right, welcome. So as you can see from a brief introductions, the competitions actually attracted a lot of students from a lot diverse backgrounds. You have computer science, finance, international business, so on and so forth. And that's exactly the kind of compositions in team that we are looking for. Okay? So let's just want to briefly go overview on the competition format for those of you who never participated before. So obviously all of you has visited this website. You're aware about the amount of award that giving out for first place, second place, and third place. But really the benefits of competition is to give the students a chance to work on real life data set and compete in very interesting business problems. The timeline here is important. So today is the information sessions for you guys to ask questions, kind of get an understanding of who are the other students who also compete in the competitions. My suggestion is after today, start thinking about the team you want to form. We can talk briefly about the problem or challenge we're going to have this year, if time permit. Then on Friday, or not Friday, Monday, February 6th, we're going to have a kickoff event when we will officially introduce the challenge and let you guys ask questions and dive into the problems yourself. After that, we have about almost a month for students to work on the problems. And then on March 3rd, that is when we have a technical workshop. In this workshop, students have a chance to have a direct interaction with the panel of judges in the competitions and ask questions to clarify the different assumptions you may have about the challenge. Sometimes students get hints, technical help regarding how to solve the problems. So last year, we actually have a workshop in which we told students about the data sets, some of the challenge of what it was imbalanced data set we had last year, and help students with some pointer on that regard. Okay? March 28th is when the submissions deadlines. We will announce the result for the first round in April 4th, and students have 10 days to prepare for the final presentations. It's important to note that for the first round and the second round, we have different panel of judges. So the professors you met today are only judges for the first round. So we decide so that for the first round, panel consider mostly professors with more technical background who can judge your submission both on the technical side and also business logics. But in the final presentation, you have more of a business judges, industries practitioners who are more interested in the business relevance of your recommendations and analysis. So that is an overview of the competitions. I want now to give the time to Ju Ying for her to speak about her experience. If you don't mind, Ru Ying, to talk about how some of the challenges you faced during the competitions. What did you gain from the competitions, and what kind of advice you want to give to this year competitions? You want to speak for a little bit?
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you for your patience for listening to me. And I think my experience was in my competition at that time, we were asked to analyze the pharmacy data from Rochester area. Basically, the competition asked us to by analyzing the pharmaceutical data, we can give some suggestions in the stores for the stores to choose locations. So we will use a lot of methods to help stores. And so the whole setting is really close to the real life problems. So this will actually exercise our ability to to do the projects At first, our team wasn't know much about data analytics because even we are management information system students, but we still does not have prior experience in analyzing big data. So maybe you will be overwhelmed when receive a big amount data set. But actually, there are like the technical workshops, and also there are professors for us to seek for helps to give us some suggestions. So help us to solve the problems like step by step. And I guess my suggestions is two pieces. The first is about actually the business competition. The business analytic competition is not about like assessing one's talent or intelligence. It's more about try to test the team commitment, which I mean like at that time our team wasn't the strongest team if you in terms of the academic performance or something, but I think our team have more time commitment, and our team has no one in our team said we want to give up or something. So we just sometimes it's complete is better than perfect. So that's the first pieces of advice. And the second advice is I see a lot of students, a lot of you come from the other campuses of RIT, so pay attention to the time difference. Like in China, there is like 13 hours time difference. So we might stay up late or get up early in order to submit the final materials. So pay close attention to the deadlines. And I guess as long as you finish the whole process, you will be benefit from it, because you learned it just step by step. It's not so just try to complete it. If you're encounter any difficulties, then think about like make it perfect. Just make the first step complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Rujing. That is excellent advice for students in there. So I want to ask students if you guys have any questions for Rujing or for the panel of judges at the moment regarding the competitions. Let's hear from students. Anyone want to start us off? Yeah, go ahead.
What kind of tools are we going to be using for doing the data analysis?
Yeah, so excellent questions. So the questions is what type of tools do we use for the competitions? The short answer is there's no limitation or limit to the tools you can use. In the past, we see students use a lot of Python and R. So those are two common tools. We did have students who also using Tableau, Excel even, and some students go really out of the ways to get very advanced tools. I think the IBM Watson's was used at some point.
Imbalance.
Say louder.
For imbalance there, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of different tools you can choose to use. We don't have any limitations in terms of that. That being said, when you guys forming a team, you have to think about the expertise of each team members. So that way you complement each other's skills, right? Let's say if half the team only know Python, half the team only know R, that's gonna be a little bit tricky to work together, right? So think about that too when you're forming the team. So excellent questions. Did I see a hand from another student? Celine?
Oh yeah, sorry. My question was already answered.
Okay, yeah. Anything other judges want to add regarding the tool? Maybe let me turn this camera. One hint I think is safe to give at the moment is that this year competitions, the challenge going to be focused heavily on text analysis. Yeah. So keep that in mind when you guys forming team. Text analysis and the data will be imbalanced again this year. So those are the two main challenges you're going to face this year competition. So when you form a team, look for someone with experience in text analysis. That could be helpful for this year. Okay. Any other questions?
Hi, it's Purna. If I understand it right, so we have two kinds of submissions, right? The first one being more of technical and the second one being a business audience. So the expectation is that we will be ready by the first submission, right? The second round is the way it's just the perspective of how we are presenting and to whom we are presenting. Am I right? Or do we get some time and do we need to add something after the first round feedback, or how does it work out?
So yes, you're right. There are two rounds of there's two rounds in the competitions. So let's go back in here. In the first round, the submission deadline is in 28. This is where you submit two items first. One is a business report, which summarize your analysis and your findings. You also have to submit solutions to the problem on a Kaggle website. So let me show you guys last year competitions. I wonder if I have access to it in here. You guys actually have a chance to look at previous year competitions submissions too. If you go down all the way to the end of it, you see the submission and also the presentations. So this is a report last year the winning team provided. You can see what kind of result and findings we are expecting from students. The student also has to submit a website. Sorry, not a website. A prediction model. I hope it's the right.
It never is. When you're in front of a new brain, it will never be.
Let's have it.
Yeah.
Oh no. This what happens when you use a different.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I think you can share that across later. But again, I think I got the. And can you speak a little about the second round? What would be expected there?
Final presentation.
Oh, the final presentation. Yeah. So again, you can also see the presentation the student submitted last year. So in the second time or second round, you present this your findings to a different panel of judges, which is made up from business managers who has experience in business analytics. So the nature of the submission and the presentation has to change a little bit. You have to present and make it more relevant to the business audience. In the first round, you have to show us that you have the technical skills and you're able to solve the problem technically and present it in the report. In the second round, you actually have to show us that you actually have the skills to communicate and present the findings convincingly to the business manager. So that's why the competition is about business analytics, right? It's not a data science competition.
Got it.
How to use analytics to make business recommendations.
Got it.
So it's useful in here to think about when you're forming your teams, that you want to form your teams not too heavily lean on technical expertise. Okay? I think the team won in the past always have a balance between business knowledge, communication skills, and also technical skills. So look for a team that has more well-rounded skills rather than trying to have a team purely from a technical standpoint.
Sure, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Anything you guys want to add to that? I don't have the Kaggle in here to show, but also important to point out that last year, those of team that won the competition was not one of the team that well, that team ranked number 2 in the Kaggle submissions, but the team ranked number 1 didn't won. I don't know if they make it even to the second round. Those to emphasize that you may spend a lot of time in building a perfect Kaggle submission, but that doesn't guarantee you to get to the next round, because you have to show that you have the communication skills to present your business findings.
Also the other way around, right?
Yeah.
You don't have your prediction score doesn't have to be perfect to still make good business decisions.
Exactly right. So go back to the comment from Rujing said, right? It's more important to form a team that commit to it, and you don't have to form the perfect team, right? You just have to be on the same level of skill and commitments and well-rounded skills.
I have a small question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So is the data set provided at the end of, is data set provided today or in the kickoff session? I just want to ask so that it will be easy for, distributing it among my team members and strategizing towards the goal. So yeah. I just want to ask.
So the data set and the challenge will be revealed on February 6th when we have a kickoff event. Today is more for you guys to ask the question about the competitions, get some ideas, get some advices in forming the teams to see is it worth your time to actually doing these competitions, and get some hint about how to start. So a couple of the hints we talk about is to forming the right team. I already told you guys the competition this year going to be leaning heavily on text analysis. So make sure you keep that in mind when you look for teammates.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So like, I'm assuming the teams can only be RIT students and not non-RIT students.
Oh, that's an excellent question. This year, the competition is open for every student. So non-IIT student and IIT student. The only student cannot participate is PhD students. So you can make a team of IIT, non-IIT students. And actually last year, the team that won 3rd place concept students who at IIT and a different school, Dexter, I believe. Drexel. Yeah, Drexel. And he actually participated in the previous competitions too. So Rujing, if you still a student and you want to participate again, you are very welcome to do that.
Vanessa asked if she can participate as an individual.
Vanessa has a question. Yes, you can, of course, participate as an individual. Of course, if you have teammates that have help with the workload, but there's no restriction in terms of team that you have to have a team members. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Is there a limit to how big the team can be?
The limit is 5, so no more than 5 in the team.
There's another question that I got from students. So, like, besides the technical workshop, can they seek help from the advisors, like in that 2 months period?
Advisors, other advisors.
I mean, the judges or other technical.
This is a little bit more tricky. I think depending on the nature of the inquiries, in the past, students did have follow-up questions with me and Vic on different things and most of them are clarifications. So I think the judge will have to decide for themselves the balance. We don't want to deeply engage and help too much, right? But you guys can think of us as more of advisory role when we provide some suggestions, some hint, but that's about it. We cannot tell you, okay, what you're doing is right, what you're doing is not right.
It's more of a like clarification.
Yes, right. Yeah. And I think in the past, a student will struggle. Last year, students will struggle with imbalanced data. So we did provide some resources for them to look into as a starting point. So those are the kind of thing we can provide. But we cannot tell you, okay, have you tried this? Why don't you try that? So on and so forth, right? That's too much of holding hands. Excellent questions. Any other questions? Maybe if the judges, you don't have to, not all of you have to come up with one, but maybe some advices we can give to students at this stage could be helpful. So what could be some advices that the students can be benefits from?
First one, yeah. First one that comes to mind is trying to balance the workload across the whole period of time that you have to work on this problem, rather than working on it right before the deadline.
Yeah,
it is easier said than done, but generally, in fact, the team that won last year had a pretty good initial result relatively early in the process, and was able to continue to refine it as they got closer, and as they were able to attend the technical workshops or other things, they could get a little bit of feedback or guidance about different elements, and that helped them a lot.
Yes. Excellent. So time management, and also the make sure you don't do it last minute. Treat it as a class project, right? Do it a little bit over time. Do not wait at the end. Would be helpful. Heights, you were saying?
I would say for the first round, like, you really need to become one with the data. Right? You really need to think about what the data represents, what it means, how you can use it. And then that will then naturally translate into becoming the business manager or the consultant that gives the decisions or the advice based on the data. So make sure that you really understand what the data means and what the implications are of any of the decisions that you make.
Excellent advices. Yeah, I cannot stress it's enough. This is a business analytics competitions. So there's need to be a balance between data and dealing with data technically, but also an understanding of the data and what it means to your client. Any other advices you guys want to give? Ali?
So it's just going to be a repetition, but the business report is very important. So your goal is like to help decision makers to make like informed decisions. So you might have really nice technical results, but if you cannot deliver that to your business, to the decision makers who can understand, that's at the end it's just nothing, right? So it's really important to like writing a report so that a non-technical person can understand and act upon.
Yeah. So that's excellent point. So I noticed a few students actually having engineering background and computer science background. I think it's a good advice at the moment to recommend that when you're looking for teammates with more business background to complement your skill set, because technical skills would not be enough to win in these competitions.
I just want to add something like don't set any limitations or constraints on the tools or softwares that you are going to use. Because we know that Python's are many softwares can do the textual analysis, and even especially for the final business reports, actually we don't need to use too complex techniques to solve the problem. The key is business insights.
Yes, right. Yeah. So excellent point too. Okay, do not get sucked into the tools and the sophistication of it. More on the logic and the recommendations. Let's see. And I said text analysis will be important this route. So there's a lot more tool that can do it beside R and Python. Any things? I think that's about it. Let's see. So any last questions from students? Comment, feedback?
Yes, I have one question.
Sure.
On March 3rd, we have a technical workshop according to schedule. So is it like we'll be getting some feedback on our intermediary results or progress? Or how does it like what's the agenda of the technical workshop? Can you give us a?
So the technical workshop is when students or teams did already some work, get some question, and then come to the workshop asking us mostly technical question of how to solve or address the challenge.
Okay.
We did in the past tell students that if they want, they can do a one-page summary of what they found so far and the question they have, and give it to us in advance. So if there's enough team and enough time, we can break into group, and then we have judges to help them in a smaller interactions groups. So really, it's a milestone for team to stop, get some guidance and feedback from the judges, you know, to fine-tune the models or fine-tune the business findings.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So this year we plan it so that students have 1 month from the kickoff to the workshop, and the information session is meant for us to encourage you guys to form a team now. So when the kickoff event happens, you already have a team ready on day one to get and work on the problems. Because last year we noticed that a lot of teams wait until the kickoff event, then they form team. By the time they form teams, it's already halfway through to the kickoff event. So when the kickoff event come around, they didn't get as much benefits out of it. That's why we have this information session earlier before the kickoff event. Let's see, I have a question. What if we're coming from the other global campus? No, there's no, I'm not sure which aspect you are asking for, Salim. We have students from different campuses participated before. Everything is the same, no matter where you are. We also had team who considered students from Croatia and Dubai work together. So it's no issue there. Just have to make sure you work out the time difference. In terms of technical workshop, how can we utilize that? So we set the time for each workshop at 10 a.m. I think, if I remember correctly, when I do the time, that's something like in the afternoon for Europe and at night for China. So it should still work fairly reasonable.
And it's on Zoom again.
And yeah, and it's on Zoom, so you guys can participate in Zoom, of course. And if you cannot make it, you can always send, like I said, questions in advance. We will try to answer that during the workshop. Every meeting and workshop will be recorded, and the link will be posted right here in the website, so you can always go back and check it. Yes, Vanessa, we will post the recordings in the website. We also send a Zoom link to students who sign up for the email list. So that way you get notified when the Zoom recording is available. And we have a lot of students sign up from different schools too. But I don't see a lot of them today, so look like they may participate in through they may watch the recordings later. A lot of good questions today. Any other questions? So, like I said, your goals after today is to think about what we talked and start to forming a team if you are interested in joining. Right? We already give you guys a lot of advices in terms of what kind of team composition would work best. So keep that in mind. Form the teams that February 6th kickoff event. You guys are ready to go and start working on the problems. During February 6th, we're going to talk about how the submission process and more details on the challenge will be revealed. Okay. So that's it about that's about it for today. We good.
I think I would simply close by saying there are email addresses on the website. If you have further questions, you want more clarification, please reach out to Professor Bowie or myself, Professor Parati.
Yeah. So we are only one email away from you guys. So do not hesitate to reach out. That's it. Thanks everyone for coming and participating, and have a wonderful day. We're looking forward to seeing you in the competitions and reading your submissions. Okay. Right. That's it. Bye now.